Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
This week on the Kindness Project, we talk about junk food, bunker diet. We have part one of our interview with Serena from Doncaster Street Hub.
Welcome, my friends, to another edition of the Kindness Project. I'm joined by a girl who last week told me she's changed her name to Chicken Nuggets. It's Chicken Nuggets.
And I'm joined by a man who's decided we're doing an impromptu bulk recording in the middle of my bagel. It's Chris James.
Well, I'm surprised you're not eating a chicken nugget, as your name's now Chicken Nugget. Do you want to chew that anymore?
Chicken nuggets aren't actually my favourite thing from McDonald's.
What is your favourite thing from McDonald's?
I don't know, but it's not chicken nuggets.
You know what? I genuinely, I've gone off McDonald's in a big way. I haven't had a McDonald's. I haven't had a McDonald's any time in 2020. Probably had one McDonald's in 2019. So I used to love a McDonald's, but I just don't eat a lot of junk food anymore. I'm obsessed with spinach and eggs and all that sort of healthy stuff. You know what my guilty pleasure is though, junk food wise? Greggs. Love a Greggs. Absolutely adore a Greggs. Give me a steak bake. Give me a Greggs sausage roll. Give me... Why are you not running to Greggs right now? I'm saying give me Greggs. Give me...
I'm sorry, I have my own stuff to do today.
Oh, what? You can't run to Greggs and get me a bread pudding?
No, I have my psychology homework to do today.
Oh, okay. All right, you do that.
Yeah.
But if anybody's out there who fancies running to Greggs for me today, I mean, you won't listen to this until about 3 weeks later, but a Greggs bread pudding is always welcome, isn't it? What's your favourite thing out of Greggs?
They do a nice hot chocolate.
Yeah, not bad. You're not, are you a big junk food aficionado? You're not,
no,
are you really?
I don't. See, the thing is, I don't mind junk food. The issue I have with Greggs is I don't like pastries that much.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah.
well, what am I going to get from Greggs other than pastries and warm drinks? But I don't really like pastries that much because they're crummy and they get down your shirt.
Is that what you're worried about?
And your fingers get dry and your mouth gets dry and it's just not my thing.
Would you ban pastry? Is that what you do?
No, because some pastry is nice.
Okay.
Like, you know what's made out of pastry that I like?
Pastry?
Baklava.
Yeah, I'm a bit meh about baklava.
It's really sicklingly sweet.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's really nice.
Yeah, you know what I like? Rhubarba. Have you ever had a rhubarba?
No.
It's like a donut just drizzled with honey, with cream and stuff
Sounds like
that.
my worst nightmare.
And that cheesecake. Would you eat cheesecake?
Oh, I love cheesecake.
Yeah.
I love cheesecake.
Okay, we can agree on cheesecake then.
Oh, I love cheesecake so much.
Sorry, are you dribbling right now?
If it were possible, I'd live off cheesecake. But it's not possible. So.
Not nutritionally, really. I don't think there's that much nutritionally in cheesecake that would sustain you for too long. Worth giving it a go, though, right?
Yeah!
I mean, I'd definitely give it an attempt. You know, if you... Okay, unofficial question of the podcast, right? You are locked... Oh, this has got to be a future question of the podcast. You are locked in a nuclear bunker. Mm-hmm. There's nuclear war going on, and you're locked in this bunker for what? How long's the fallout? Let's say 10 years.
Yeah.
There's only one foodstuff, but cans or butt packets, and it's in a form that it will never go off. So you've got 10 years worth. What one foodstuff are you going to eat for 10 years?
Cheesecake.
Just imagine you coming out after eating cheesecake for 10 years. You look like you've been involved in a nuclear war.
Cheesecake or bagels?
Oh, I think bagels.
The thing is, if we're talking about specifically one thing, then just having the bagels isn't good enough. I want the cheese and the ham and the mustard that go inside. But obviously, if
you could have like a wrap packed cheese ham mustard bagel if you want.
Oh yeah, then definitely bagels.
You're chucking cheesecake to the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only so many flavours of cheesecake, but I can
No,
never
you only allow one flavour.
I could never get bored of a cheese, ham, and mustard bagel.
Okay, fair enough. So cheese, ham and mustard bagel, how long do you reckon it'd take, morning, noon and night, of eating cheese, ham and mustard bagels for you to get bored of a cheese, ham and mustard bagel?
Considering I've been pretty much eating only bagels for breakfast for about 4 months.
But no, that's different, isn't it? Because it's just for breakfast. You get a bit of variety in your diet, don't you? If you were eating it every single... I mean, number one, you'd look like a bagel. But number two, where does that phrase come from?
I just do squats in my bunker. Hope for the best.
Sorry, is that your exercise routine? Would
you rather I go to the surface and run away from monsters for some cardio?
Maybe that's a good move. I mean, you'd have to sort of try and avoid the nuclear fallout, and I think that's difficult to do. But I mean, you've picked two rather extreme scenarios there. You're either running in a nuclear wasteland, Fallout style, or you're just doing squats. I mean, you could have done squats, push-ups, a burpee, a ski jump.
No.
None of that, just squats.
I could do some yoga. That's very intense on some of the lower muscles.
Okay, fair enough. So squats and yoga, or
Yep.
just squats?
Squats and yoga.
Okay. If you could only do one exercise, what would it be?
Yoga.
Yoga.
Get rid of the squats.
Yeah.
I take downward dog over squats any day of the week.
Okay, fair enough.
Can't really do a
But you're-
downward dog, but I take it over squats any day of the week.
But you're quite flexible anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
So, like, yoga's quite sort of good for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, can you let people know where they can get in touch with us?
Righto, so we have a Twitter at Honor Kindness, and we have a Facebook, which is, if you type the kindness question into the search bar, it should be the first thing that comes up by now, I think. How many years into this are we? Anyway, the website is www.thekindnessproject.co.uk, and the email is honor@thekindnessproject.co.uk. If you were listening to previous episodes, you know that our MySpace got taken down for
Shh, don't talk about the photos. Do not.
undisclosed reasons.
Oh, you threw me under a bus. It was because there was some very dodgy photos of Charlotte that she doesn't like talking about.
To clear some things up, we've never had a MySpace, and this is just going to be an ongoing joke that you have to put up with now.
Yeah, you know what? If people are listening, and bear in mind that we've got quite a lot of listeners now, they know what we're sensitive like, so they're ready to tolerate our jokes.
Just like we've never had a MySpace, and if you've listened to previous episodes, you know we don't have a MySpace. I feel like I have to clear that up,
And
otherwise
if we have got MySpace, we don't know about it. And actually,
please don't start random MySpace for us.
Start a fanfic MySpace. That would mean we've actually made it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, start a fan page for us. And
Yeah, a MySpace fan page would be amazing.
I don't know anyone who uses MySpace anymore, but go for it. Have fun.
I think MySpace still exists in one form or another, though.
No one uses it though. It's just a bunch of old deactivated accounts from like people who were 13 when I was coming out of the womb.
Hey, how dare you use MySpace at some point in time? I mean, the weird thing is, you are a bit of a, and this is one that I don't use, you're a Discord fan, aren't you? Can you explain what Discord is to me?
So it's basically it's a
Like a
chat.
forum.
It's just a forum chat thing. So I'm part of some forums, and we just talk about like podcast stuff. Because I don't know,
Podcast stuff? You've got a podcast?
not that podcast stuff.
Oh.
Like not like fiction podcasts. Because like I don't know anyone in real life who likes podcasts.
Are you joking?
I don't know anyone in real life who likes fiction podcasts.
Really?
And it's like,
See, I've struggled a bit to get into fiction podcasts.
Yeah.
I love a documentary podcast. I love a comedy podcast. I don't know what we are. Are we documentary?
I believe we're noted under philosophical.
Now that is weird, isn't it? I mean, I know we ask some interesting philosophical questions, but I wouldn't call us philosophical. But yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. Number one philosophical podcast in Kuwait, by the way. Anyway, the question of the podcast that we always ask every week, and we ask pretty consistently, is what pizza topping should be included every time on a pizza, and what pizza topping should be banned? What do you reckon on that one?
I like sweet corn,
Sweet corn, yeah.
but it has no nutrition.
Every time on sweet corn.
No, it has no nutritional value. There's no point in it being on anything. There's no point eating it, but it's just enjoyable.
Okay. It's a pointless food.
But it's like eating fast food is pointless, but you enjoy it, so you do it. You don't enjoy it.
No, you
but
know what?
generally, as a concept, people enjoy fast food.
You know what? Eating fast food gives you a short-term buzz, doesn't it? Because typically fast food's either got loads of fat, loads of salt, or loads of sugar in, and actually it serves a purpose because it gives you a short-term boost of energy. The problem with too much fast food, you know what? Everything in balance, everything in moderation. But the problem is with too much fast food is its impacts on your body.
It's like, okay,
It has an impact on your body.
Let me use a different analogy then. It's like TV. We don't need to watch TV.
It's like tuberculosis.
No, TV, television.
Oh, right.
We don't need to watch TV, but we enjoy it, so we do it. That's what sweet corn is like. We don't need sweet corn. It holds no value. But we eat anyway.
Yeah, but TV doesn't go through the entire body and come out the other end in the same format. I consume TV and then interpret it into a positive emotion. I don't do that with sweet corn.
How can you interpret sweet corn into a positive emotion?
I can't. That's the point. I can interpret a Greg's bread and butter pudding into a positive emotion. Tasty. And I'm getting a bit of a sugar rush. Sweet corn, straight in, straight out. On that note. Straight in, straight out, straight through. On that,
shouldn't it be straight in, straight through, straight out?
Yeah, wasn't as funny though, so I didn't say it that way. On that note, the official question of the podcast, as a little reminder, after that little wander down Sweet Corn Alley.
Straight through, straight out.
How'd you get through Sweet Corn Alley? Straight in, straight through, straight out. After that little
wander. Need that on a t-shirt now.
Take me down to a sweet corn alley. No. Is what pizza topping should be included every time and what pizza topping should be banned. Before we get on with the show, let's talk about fish on a pizza. Because I don't mind an anchovy.
I don't mind an anchovy. I like fish.
Okay, we agree on that one. Yeah. How are we feeling about pineapple?
I like pineapple.
See, the problem is with both of us is we eat virtually everything, don't we?
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd ban any pizza toppings.
No. What's that one thing we ate when we were away? And both of us tried it and we're just like, no, we're never eating this again.
Oh.
Sea urchin.
Oh, that
never
was
again.
That was awful. See, if they put the sea urchin on a pizza, that would not be for
I'd
me.
have to scrape the sea urchin off and just eat the base.
Or ask for another pizza.
No, we're not wasting a pizza. Just take the sea urchin off.
But I've got a feeling, Charlotte, that Pizza Hut are not going to turn around one day and turn around and go, you know what we need to put on a pizza? Let's do a sea urchin special and make sure we're going to do that. And on that note,
put salmon on pizza.
I think you could put salmon on pizza. I mean, you could put anything on pizza really, and it could potentially work. So I think that sea urchin is where we draw the line.
Yeah.
Sea urchin is
every
time we draw the line at sea urchin. If you've tried sea urchin and you like it, number one, why? And number two, what are you doing listening to the podcast? You are officially banned from listening to the Kindness Project.
Or, separately, how did you actually happen to get good sea urchin?
Well, that's the problem. When you have a bad food, right, is it because it's a bad food because it's prepared or cooked badly, or is it a bad food because it just tastes like absolute rubbish?
Well, I saw them making sea urchin on a cooking show the other day, and I was like, but sea urchin's disgusting. So I was thinking, well, maybe it was just prepared wrong, and that's why we didn't like it. So.
Well, because it was prepared on a grill in a Japanese marketplace. Anyway, on that note, shall we get on with the show? So our esteemed guest this week is Serena. Serena is a fellow financial advisor, financial planner, a amazing lady who, during our interview, said to us that she's a fan of the Kindness Project. When we were doing our Facebook lives during lockdown, she used to.
I remember.
She used to listen all the time.
You butchered her name.
You know what? I always butcher Serena's name. That's why I'm not mentioning her surname today. But Serena is an amazing lady. Does loads of really good work. Super kind.
Does loads of work.
Works. Does loads of really good work. Super kind. But she came on to talk to us about a hygiene bank, and it was I remember it was an issue that I knew very little about.
Yeah.
Hygiene poverty. So I really enjoyed learning about it, but also understanding a bit more about the issues and actually what we can do about it. So part 1 of Serena's interview is coming up right now. Hope you enjoy it. I'm sure you will. We did this one together.
I actually got involved in this one.
Yeah, which is a nice one. So enjoy the first part of the interview.
Hi, Serena. Thanks for joining the podcast. We really appreciate it. And before we came on for the interview, you said some amazingly lovely things about the podcast. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Do you want me to say them again so you know?
Go on then. Go on, why not?
I was saying, and it's the honest to God truth, so this is no word of a fib. When you contacted me the day, I was really quite excited because in early first lockdown, yours was the only thing I could get into. It was my treat. Every day I would go in the bath, I would listen to you two having a lovely time, hearing decent people talking about happy things, and I swear I was an absolute avid fan. So
amazing.
It really meant a lot to me at that point, and I know you may think I'm hamming that up, but it's the honest to God truth.
I'm so glad, and you might be the first person who's admitted to listening to us in the bath. I don't know. People probably do.
No. Wasn't there that one woman who told us she listened to us in bed?
That was an email I had to delete. Anyway,
I did have to double check though, because it's a live when it said live. So the first couple of times I did watch it fully just in case.
We're not beaming into your room. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and now I've got an image of you fully dressed in the bath for some weird reason. That's kind
of a better image. Let's stick with that.
We've all done it once or twice.
Anyway, the reason that I wanted to, and again, when you were getting involved during lockdown one of the things that I always got wrong is your name. Yeah. So help us understand, because you've got this amazingly Dutch-sounding name that I always get wrong. So
we do.
Is that your name? Have you changed your name? What? Help me understand the name thing.
Oh, you're going to feel really bad now when you ask me, because it's my married name, but I'm divorced.
Okay.
So then you're going to go, oh no, she's a single mother. Now I feel really bad asking about the names. But I kept the name because it's actually my business name.
Right.
And also, I didn't want a different surname to my daughter.
Yeah.
So I've been divorced a long time, but I kept the name because, well, I liked it.
Yeah, you know what? It's not a bad name.
It's funky.
It's a funky name. And how do you pronounce it?
You pronounce it Van Der Meulen. It basically means miller.
Van Der Meul.
Yeah.
Is it Dutch?
Yeah.
So, and our surname's Dutch as well. It's Daniel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we've got.
I don't know what it means though. It's just there.
I don't know.
It's just there.
I don't know.
It's just at the end of every email I write.
But the challenge you've got with having an unusual surname is nobody gets it right. So we've talked about the podcast before.
I actually had to correct my maths teacher today on how it was said.
Did he say Deems?
Yeah.
So I've had letters through the post saying Chris Dreams, Chris Dooms, like loads of different things.
Didn't they write wrong on Mum's record when she was in hospital having me?
Yeah, I think they did.
No, was it me or Soph? It was Soph.
Yeah. So we've cleared the name out.
Sure.
I'm going to avoid any embarrassment and just call you Serena. That'd be easy. So tell us a bit about you.
Well, that's not overly interesting, but if you wish, I'm clearly on the very wrong side of 40 now. Mother to a 16-year-old.
Okay.
Mother to 2 dogs who are terribly spoilt. And I also own a financial planning company.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is how you and I first connected. So that is about as exciting as it gets. There is no other time.
It's actually very exciting compared to like my life. I don't leave the house.
Charlotte, nobody leaves the house.
Yeah, but before I didn't leave the house because I just didn't want to. I was content to stay home with a book.
Well, it was funny because I'm running. Like we'll get onto the interview in a minute, but I'm running a webinar next week, and Russell is a bit of a homebody as well. And we were using Russell as our audience, as our test audience, and the webinar was about navigating change in 2020. And so I asked Russell what the biggest change was in 2020, considering there was a global pandemic. His answer was none, really. I've just stayed at home as long as I normally do.
Do you know the honest truth? Really quite amusing. My daughter has loads of mental health issues and physical health issues, and actually, she's been out of the house far more since lockdown.
Yeah,
because the pressure was off her to go out of the house.
Yeah, there's no expectation there.
There's no expectation. So actually going for a walk now or going to the shop with me or any of those things, she's now very often able to do quite happily. Whereas before lockdown, that was like her idea of hell.
Yeah, is that? Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And I thought that was quite a bizarre concept. And then obviously I follow certain people on social media who have similar family issues with health. And actually it's been quite common. Because the pressure was off and, it's a lot emptier outside and everything else, a lot of people have found that it's easier to be outside.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I found that as well because you remember before, I only used to go out if I had a reason to go out because I wasn't a big fan of crowded spaces and there's less people. I can just... We have Ingerborn. It's a hill just to the back of us. I say Ingerborn because everyone in the area, if you say Ingerborn, they know what you're talking about.
There's a county park at the back,
I just go and sit at the top, and I'm just going to chill, watch the sunset.
The view from the top is amazing.
Yeah, and there's just no
really,
people,
really
and they can't bother me when I'm on my own.
You do realise now half of Britain will be there because you've just announced it.
Our podcast isn't that popular. Funny enough, though, Russ did say that we had where was our listener on Christmas Day, Russ?
We had a few listeners on
Christmas Day. Eritrea, and Russell was really impressed by there was somebody in Eritrea listening to us.
That's really exciting.
The stats still on my phone.
So, That's you. Talk to me a little bit about the two dogs, because we've got one, but I am being lobbied at the minute to get an extra one, and I'm not keen. Did you not know that? No. So we're not doing it. So Sophie wants to get an extra dog. So why two? And what have you got?
Well, it's a great story actually. So I bought the first dog when my daughter's sister was due to be born in Holland when Natanya was 5.
Okay.
Because I didn't want her to feel, excluded away from her siblings. I bought a dog. And then the second sister was due to be born a few years later. She went to school and she went, "You do know I'm due another dog?" And I was like, "Yeah, you are so not getting another dog this week." That day, my mum found a dog that had been living rough.
Right.
And with my daughter's allergies, it was one of the breeds we could have. It was a Bichon. Anyway, so we took it in. We called the kennels and they said, "Could you foster it, please? Because we've got kennel coughing." And I said, yeah, no problem. And he became ours. Nobody claimed him. Nobody in the country wanted him. I contacted every Bichon owner and you name it. And so actually he was sent to us, I believe.
Oh, amazing story.
And he's still a pain in the neck after 8 years.
We've got a bit of a bin dipper, our dog. Our dog loves a dip in the bins. But the story, and I don't know if we've ever shared this on the podcast.
Of his name?
No, not of his name, of how we got to get him. So Charlotte was 8. I don't know, something like that.
No, because Soph was 8 when I was 16, so she was half my age.
Yeah.
So I would have been 10 when we got.
Yeah, but yeah. Charlotte, when Charlotte was 7 or 8, she said to me and Cassie, "What do you want for?" We asked, "What do you want for Christmas?" She went, "I want a baby sister." Now, at the time, we didn't think we could have any more children because there was some medical stuff going on. A year later, we found out. and Sophie came along. And the next year, we said to Charlotte, what do you want for Christmas? She went, a dog. I went, definitely not getting a dog. Definitely not getting... Yeah, but Dad, you said that about the sister. So I didn't have an answer to that, really. So we've got a dog now.
And then a bit later you said, if you raise the money to get it, we'll get it. And 18 months later, I was trying
to make it so difficult to get. I was like, right, if you raise the money to afford to do it, and you went out cupcake selling and doing loads of different stuff to raise the money.
I love it.
So, yeah.
And of course, as a financial planner, Father, you clearly wanted to just create that incentive for her. You weren't trying to dissuade her altogether.
Now I'm a squirrel.
Should we say that, Serena?
Yeah, let's say it.
We can.
Now I just don't spend money.
Yeah. Now you save everything. Yeah.
Definitely get the second dog. They're pack animals. Then you don't feel guilty if you have to go somewhere.
He doesn't like it. He says he doesn't like it, but I come down and they lay on the sofa and curl up together, just him and the dog, and it's like...
It is true. I
thought my dog was really happy until I got my second one. And then I realised how he was properly content with another dog in the house.
Yeah, okay.
But don't feel bad, eh?
Not persuaded.
Charlotte, I'll send you the 140 quid.
I got the 140 quid. I'm squirreling.
Yeah, okay. Right, shall we move on to the dog issue very quickly? Because I'm definitely not talking about that again. Tell us a little bit about the work you do with the Hygiene Bank.
So I became involved in May 2019, and it had been set up at the end of 2018 by our founder, Lizzie Hall. Do you want to know how it was set up? Because it was quite a good one.
Yeah.
So the Hygiene Bank is a charity, and we collect and distribute hygiene products to community partners such as food banks, etc., to distribute them to people living in poverty.
Yeah.
But it was set up because our founder watched a film called I, Daniel Blake.
Yes, I've seen it, actually. It's Ken Loach, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So, there's a scene in it where the mother gets caught shoplifting, and actually what she shoplifted is really basic hygiene stuff.
Yeah.
So she went to a local food bank, and they basically said, we do get toiletries, but ad hoc. So she contacted various friends, and they were telling stories of what happens in schools and all sorts. So she sent a WhatsApp group a message saying she was going to collect some stuff, and that's where it started. And 2 years later, there's 150 projects across the UK. There are, I wrote it down because I couldn't remember. Did I get a number? Oh, yeah. 1,445 community partners that we support across the country. I only found that out today. I wasn't sure how many.
So when was the charity launched? A couple of years ago?
I think December 18.
So that's an amazing amount of progress in quite a short space of time, right?
Huge. We did 350 tonnes across the UK distribution last year, which is 7 times the year before. And
I know this is going to be a bit of a strange question, but does that include sanitary products as well for women's sanitary? And because sanitary women's health is a bit of an issue, isn't it, in the UK in terms of
Huge issue.
Actually, wasn't there that thing in Scotland where they were making them more readily available?
I think they did, but I don't think in England they did.
No, it didn't.
Well, what they have done here, and this is a really good thing, is each school is now entitled to an allocation of funds for it.
Okay.
Which is a start, because we were hearing stories so often of children missing school, women missing work.
Yeah.
Because they just haven't got anything to use.
Yeah.
And you know yourself, well, you don't, Chris, I assume, but I'm assuming Charlotte, you can't live like that. You can't work in everyday society without access to those things.
100%. So how did you get involved?
Well, I was doing stuff by myself from the business and from home, trying to get schools to recycle uniforms and football clubs to recycle boots, things like that. And then I was on Instagram in May 19, And I saw that one of my friends was a collection point for Hygiene Bank. And I was like, I've never heard of this. So had a little look, contacted Lizzie within a nanosecond. And then she was like, oh, we've got a project opened in Doncaster now. So then Joe contacted me, who'd set it up in the January. And she said, well, what do you think you do? I said, well, I could certainly do an hour or two a week. Yeah. I feel I've been duped.
You need to talk to Russell, because Russell started working with me. I said, look, come on, Bob, you've only got a couple of jobs to do. And there he's like, he runs half my life, doesn't he? So the time commitment's been extensive, is it?
The time commitment has been quite truthfully exhausting for all of us.
You must love it, right? I mean,
we love what we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really overwhelming. So the first year, I got on board in the May. By Christmas, we distributed a ton because we'd got the floods in Doncaster that year.
Yeah.
So fortunately, we got loads of donations in. People were amazing, mops and you name it, we got it in. Yeah. And we tried really hard to help the flood effort, and that's great. So then we said, oh, can you imagine if next year we did 2 tons? We were like really pushing it. And then actually we did nearly 46.
That's amazing, right? And how do you partner with who to get the stuff?
It's across the board. So we've got 12 collection points across Doncaster.
Yep.
Jet petrol stations, my office, all different places, and we've got collection hubs. So and most of the Boots stores as well.
Right.
They've been amazing because we've obviously had a lot of help from them.
But that's people buying some hygiene products, but also giving some hygiene products, right?
Yeah. So especially on things like 3 for 2s. Love a 3 for 2. Get the 2.
You know what's not great? Sorry, I'm gonna go off on a tangent as we normally do. Not good boot sandwich. I mean, they're clearly great at helping you guys out. Don't go for a boot sandwich. Get your hygiene products there because they're helping Serena.
And their sushi ain't great either.
Sorry, Boots. Sorry. We don't like food wise.
I'm so not making a comment on that, as I love Boots for all their support. So I'm sure that Simon does a fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you, Boots. Thank you, Boots, for all the work you do with Serena. Give that prawn sandwich a bit of work. Do me a favour. Anyway, Boots. How amazing are Boots?
But it's not just Boots and yeah, thanks for that. Just wind up the people that are really helping us.
Oh, you know what? We get ourselves in trouble on this podcast, don't we? We love Boots. Right. We think Boots are great. Moving very swiftly on. So quickly moving away from that. I'm gonna end up after the end of this interview with another dog being banned from my local Boots. I mean, genuinely, these are meant to be like good experiences. And like, what are you doing to me?
Although, what is good? There's been proven just this interview episode, whatever. How much goodness spreads taking us away from Boots topic.
Thank you. That's right. That growth of the hygiene bank shows that, doesn't it?
So if you think about the numbers, they go from 1 to 46.
Yeah.
Was it 46 or 40? Yeah.
So you're collecting stuff from...
So we collect stuff from all over, right?
And how's it distributed?
So then we collect it all in, but not just that way. We have Amazon wish lists, just giving, brand donations. I tell you what else we really love is, if a shop is closing or changing a branding. So we try and stop things going to landfill.
Yeah.
It's actually cheaper to give it to us than to pay for the landfill.
Right.
We love all of that. We then collect it in, we sort it, and we distribute it across Doncaster.
Yeah.
So each town and city does exactly the same thing. And at the moment, we distribute to, as I say, 42 different community partners across town.
Yeah.
And that's food banks, schools, women's refuges, you name it. Anybody who is helping people in hygiene poverty.
And does demand always outweigh supply? Could you do 100 tons and it wouldn't be enough? What sort of...
Yeah. I would say that's an absolute definite.
Yeah.
I mean, we were really lucky. At the end of last year, we got some grant funding, COVID grant funding. We've got some again now for 3 months, which is brilliant. And that will make a massive help. It will help us. But the demand is just all day, every day.
Yeah, it's a lot. Talk to me a little bit about COVID and how it's impacted the charity.
I think the thing is, in Doncaster, from memory, I think 34% of children were seen to be living in poverty.
Okay.
Quite high. And actually, a lot of the people that are in poverty are working. So people's concept of what's the issue isn't always the issue.
Yeah.
Very often we get pleas for help directly from the public, which we have to then guide them to someone who can receive from us, such as their food bank or their school, etc. And what we're seeing there is the people who were already living hand to mouth are now desperate, because look at furlough. I mean, furlough was a godsend for many of us. Of course it was. 80% is far better than nothing. But when you are living hand to mouth, a 20% drop.
Yeah.
What do you then do? Do you choose food or do you choose to wash yourself?
Yeah.
And then if you're made unemployed and you can't wash your clothes, how well are you going to do in an interview if you know you smell? And it really is that brutal.
Yeah.
So that was the first part of Serena's interview. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we did. Shall we get on with the end of the show?
Let's do it. 'Tis the end of another podcast. But the end is never really the end, because the end is always the beginning of something entirely new. And I'm waffling now while he opens a page.
The end is never the end, but it is the beginning of the end, because we are answering last week's question of the podcast this week, and we had a really popular showing for this particular one, because I think people like to share what they're really good at trivia wise. So we had loads of answers.
We had a laugh talking about this last week.
Well, I mean, the fact that you told me you changed your name to Chicken Nuggets by deed poll, and your specialist subject was Happy Meals. Do you want to give it another go? We're going to give it another go before we start. Okay. You're in the black chair. The music started. Boom, 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 boom. The lights are on. Name?
No.
Name? No. Specialist subject?
Denial.
Right. You're not taking it seriously enough. I've got to be honest.
No.
Let me give you one more attempt. Do 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 do. And please welcome our next entrant to the black chair. Name?
Charlotte.
Oh, she got it right. Specialist subject?
Naps.
Naps. I think you'd be good at that one, naps. Anyway, let's
Answer these questions.
Who's the first person to ever? Charlotte, wake up.
I'm showing my skill.
But it's not the Krypton factor, is it? Do you know, did you ever? You don't remember the Krypton factor, do you?
No.
Oh, the Krypton factor was amazing, because they had an assault course, an observation round where you had to watch a video, and then it was like sort of like answer questions based on the video. So it was all like skill and knowledge, skill and like skill based and like perception based and
Like
stuff
Fort
like
Boyard.
that. No. Anyway.
I like Fort Boyard.
Anyway, I think the question of the podcast next week is going to be related to, have we had what's your favourite game show or quiz show? I don't know. We've had a lot of questions.
I like
Fort Boyard is quite good fun. Anyway, next, did you know? Right, let me just. We'll get on to the answer to the question of the podcast in a minute. Cassie, my wife and your mum, we know her, and I'm just explaining to the audience who she is, sent me because you were toying with the idea of going to university in Portsmouth at one stage, and Cassie sent me a link to a property in Portsmouth. It was an ex-oil rig that looked very much like Fort Bayard. Did you know this?
Yeah.
Off,
I love this.
off the coast of Portsmouth, so you'd have to get an helicopter into university every day. £8 million. When I was thinking of buying you a student flat or getting you some student accommodation, that wasn't on my plan.
Well, I'm not going to Portsmouth anymore. I'm going to Strathclyde.
I know, and I you know what? I, for one, am pleased that you're making that decision because I think as a opportunity to have a really amazing life experience, I think it's going to be really good. It got a bit serious, didn't it? Anyway,
That's not
our bag. No. So Frances Barrett said her specialist subject would be 80s music. Roberta White said her specialist subject would be Harry Potter books. David Bowley said good question, but didn't answer it.
Good question.
David, what's your name? David Bowley. Specialist subject? Good question. Okay. What's your specialist subject then?
My specialist subject is good questions.
I only answer good questions. First question, what is the capital of Nigeria?
Oh, that's a rubbish question.
Sorry, I'm not answering that. Give me a good question. Second question, who was the queen in or king in 1572? Don't like that question either, mate. You need to get better at your questions. Mike Christie had 3 answers because he really thought about this. His first specialist subject would be Friends, and I don't know whether he's talking about just his Friends or the sitcom Friends.
Hi, I'd like to talk about my friends now. I'm very proud of them. Good job, guys. You exist.
Second specialist subject would be the IT crowd. Now, you like the IT crowd.
I don't like Friends, though.
And he said Zach, last specialist subject will be Liverpool FC 1986 onwards. Steve Dan said Only Fools and Horses. John Cook said you actually have to choose 3 in case you make the final. He'd go UK number 1 singles 1960 to 1999, Doctor Who 1970 to 1981, and the World Snooker Championships 1976 to present. Yes, I've thought about this a lot. Marco Halloran had a great answer. Number 1, the life and times of Marco Halloran. Number 2, things I found in my pockets. And number 3, kebab shops near me. That is a genius answer. Absolute genius. Kebab shops near me. I've just got this image of like and there was a comment that said, do you want to answer this one?
John Cook said, there could be some crossover there. What did you find in your pocket on the morning of Sunday, 5th of April 2016? A kebab, correct.
But I've just got this image of sort of Mark being in the chair and going, okay, can you tell me the name of the guy who does the Saturday night shift at the Tandoori Shish Kebab at Plaistow Road? Al McCann said the Formula One World Championships 1960 to 1990. Jade said
Madonna hits 1990 to 2006, the films of Baz Luhrmann, Doctor Who, The Tennant Years.
Oh, yeah, I might have a bit of that. Steve Chilton said, how to spend a lottery win with style. Sam Strong said, take that or Friends.
Lucy Patrick said, Disney movies or just Finding Nemo. Desmond Barker said, the history of Arsenal Football Club. Nathan Fryer said, Top Gun. Brian Hill said Suits. I do like a good suit, but I don't know that much about them. Sorry, that was my own personal comment there, tacked onto the end.
I like a good suit. It's very rare that I wear a suit nowadays, but
I don't own a suit. I wish I did, but I don't.
I think, why didn't you use your money to get a suit?
No, because I'm going to buy tickets for a musical.
Go in a suit. Then you can combine your 2 loves, musical and suits. I think Brian was talking about the TV programme Suits. But that's fine. Justin Gaffney said the social and political construction of the commercialisation of male sex work in London, 1990 to 2000.
Very niche.
You win the award, Mr. Gaffney, for the nichest answer we've had.
I could probably do 5 or 6 questions on the history of the British lottery.
Good.
It's good.
Joshua Cartwright went for English proverbs and idioms. And that, my friends, is the end of another podcast. Thank you for all your contributions. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Kindness Project. We love having you with us along our nonsensical journeys down Sweetcorn Lane in through out, and we hope you have a lovely week.
Bye.